Good afternoon. I'm Justin White, and I am making this video for my HSC 430 class with Professor Ken Christopher. So let's get right into my Securing the Nation PowerPoint. So right now we're talking about the difficulties in securing our vast borders and our seaports and our airports and our railways and our roadways. It's pretty difficult, and this discussion is going to talk about why that is difficult. So let's get into starting our talking about our land borders. Right now, we have our Mexican and Canadian borders. Both of them stretch for many, many miles, covering several states, but also they are similar in the fact that they have massive, large bodies of water prevent separating our countries from each other. Um, right? So we wouldn't be able to just talk about crossing our borders just from walking across or driving across, but we also have to worry about shipping people or drugs or even terrorism across from in a maritime application. Mexico, they're pretty established when it comes to drugs. They're a massive wealth generator. They made $500 million on an average every year just from drugs. Lots of crime coming from Mexico. Canadian drugs, they've been increased recently, and only in the last 3 years, about a 1,000% increase. Um, could be related to COVID in the last couple of years because of the uptake, but it's mainly marijuana, whereas Mexico, they're a little more intense with the narcotics. When it comes to immigration from the border, we have vast stretches of land we discussed, but when it comes to, the actual people coming across, they have to deal with dangerous terrain and wildlife, and that goes for the same for those that are securing those borders. We have to be wary of our people that are out there in that climate, because in the wintertime up north, it could be deadly just in those temperatures. But we also have to deal with, in the southern border, we have the heat that you have to deal with, dangerous animals as well. You have rattlesnakes in the south and bears in the north. Um, at one point, even terrorism was covered as a threat to our southern border in 2016. An ISIS defector informed the United States of a plan to infiltrate the United States through Mexico. So we have to. Those are other hazards just from our borders. When it comes to maritime security, um, we've actually seen a pretty tremendous increase in security because of the MTSA. Coast Guard has been reporting lots of success in its mission and its ability to secure our seaports and our shoreline. There have been massive amounts of drug seizures and more in human history, in the United States history, in the last few years than ever before. And I believe it's mainly due to the passing of the MTSA in 2002. Lots of human trafficking, of course, we have to deal with that. That is another hazard or another threat to the United States when it comes to maritime security. Airport security threats, obviously, our biggest threat was terrorism in 2001. The ATSA was passed, and we haven't had any incidents of terrorism through our airports since then. So the TSA has been doing a phenomenal job of securing our airports, not just from terrorism though, but from we have people bringing in invasive species into our country as well, and like food and animals. So we don't like that. Drugs are being secured at the airport as well. It's pretty easy for them to catch them because it's a small and secured area. Railway security, that is a difficult area to secure because it is a vast and changing landscape. The United States is a massive country, so you wouldn't be able to watch every single bit of every railway. A lot of open areas, lots of remote areas. Terrorists could use that as an opportunity to attack us. Roadways, same thing. Lots of open area. Weather can be a hazard to travelers as well as law enforcement. But pretty much the same thing as railways. We have a lot of open area that could easily be used as an infiltration tactic for terrorists and um, criminals. But that is my presentation, my 5-minute presentation on securing our nation.